Hi, everybody. Top of the hour, 7 o'clock on this Thursday. I'm Ibeth Brusual. If you're just starting your day and you have not heard about this, there's been a passenger plane crash in the D.C. area, colliding with a military chopper. Everybody watching this morning thinking, what's happened to those on board? We're trying to get new information this morning.
That's right. This is the story of the day. I'm Julie Gargano. We've had your weather and traffic coming up. But first, let's get right to it. A live picture outside as you see the D.C. area in the foreground. That's at Jefferson Memorial. In the distance, you see the flashing lights. That's emergency crews as they work through this search and rescue operation. It's happening in D.C.
So different, right? Because now the sun is coming up and we're getting more clarity as to what the crash scene looks like. And the water you see right there, the icy waters of the Potomac River. So again, this big story that we're following for you right now regarding this passenger plane and the military chopper happened about 9 o'clock last night. As you go about right now, your morning, at the bottom of your screen, we've got more updated information. We know that from that passenger plane, there were 60 passengers plus 4 crew members on board the American Airlines flight and 3 U.S. soldiers on board the Black Hawk helicopter.
Again, search and rescue continues. It's not yet pivoted to recovery as of now, but it is very challenging for them to piece through that. In the Potomac River, it's very icy. We're going to talk more about the conditions and have team coverage as well with Angie Gonzalez and Jacqueline Harold coming up.
But right now, Maureen McCann is joining us now with a look at closer to home. How's the weather looking? And also, you're tracking the weather conditions up in the D.C. area around the time that this crash happened.
To be. Here we go. We are looking at the conditions in the D.C. area right now. Clear skies now, and there were clear skies during the overnight hours. We have the fog advisory that's up here locally, and we'll take you back to D.C. for those weather conditions there later on this hour. Locally, we have fog, low visibility for travels along I-75 and Florida's Turnpike. This afternoon, sunshine emerges, though, looking at a very pleasant Thursday afternoon. We'll have more weather on the ones come your way in just a few moments with more of the weekend weather, but got to focus on that fog this morning. Jerry, your cameras have been capturing that all morning long.
Yeah, we're hoping that sun burns it up, but for the time being, Maureen, we are dealing with that fog for that morning drive. This is I-75 here in Sumter County near Florida's Turnpike, dealing with that limited visibility this morning. We're also tracking several new crashes, including Goldenrod Road northbound lane blocked here at University Boulevard. Also looks like some slowdowns there on University. Going to take you over to Lake County for a brand new wreck for you. This one's Wilson Lake Parkway at Cherry Lake Road. And there's also a crash with injuries here in Osceola County. This is Holopau Road, also US 441 at Salem Road. This report brought to you by your Central Florida Hyundai dealers. We're tracking delays on I-4. We'll have that in 10 minutes.
Let's get back to the breaking news story live at 7:03 this Thursday morning regarding that passenger plane that has crashed, colliding with a military chopper late last night. So the rescue continues, right? The search, trying to find any sign of life whatsoever after this huge, heartbreaking situation unfolded. And one of the things I want to stress, and I was just talking to some firefighters with the City of Orlando, just kind of casually talking about the training and just a little bit, you know, everybody think about the icy conditions of a rescue of this magnitude. It's very, very dangerous.
That's happening in the Potomac. It's right across from the Pentagon. We know this is a very busy area, restricted airspace. DCA itself is a complex airport because there's military, there's commercial.
Yes.
Again, here's what we know. This happened around 9 o'clock last night.
Okay, take a look at your screen. On the right-hand side, more information. And on the left-hand side, the search area. You could see how dark it is, but you see the search rescues. We're told about 300 rescue personnel are there trying to figure things out. So American Airlines flight had taken off from Wichita, Kansas, collided with a Black Hawk helicopter as it was about to land at Ronald Reagan National Airport. I want you to take a listen here in just a second at this ATC transmission moments right after that collision.
American 472, let me know when you're ready to go to Dallas. Apparently both aircraft involved are in the river. The search and rescue operation will be ongoing for the foreseeable future at National. So let me know when you're ready to go to Dallas.
Diverting that flight, right? Dulles, another local airport there in D.C. As we take a live look again at your screen. The sun is up now. It is a much different picture, as we were saying, as you look across the Potomac and you think about the challenges that these rescuers have. We have team coverage for you this morning.
A press conference is going to be starting in less than 30 minutes. This is a different vantage point. Look at all of the search personnel because it's happening from the air, on the water, and also on the ground. Our team coverage continues now with our Angie Gonzalez and Jacqueline Harold.
Reagan National Airport is currently closed, and there is a full ground stop after this mid-air collision, a rare event. And we do know that there is a search and rescue operation that is currently underway. Now, we do believe that this was a commercial airline that hit a Black Hawk military helicopter. This morning, we're getting our first images of the wreckage and a series of photos that show a portion of the plane and the helicopter involved. Now, the severity of the crash quite clear from the photos, and sources at the scene have confirmed fatalities. We also obtained EarthCam video showing the moment of impact. You can see the helicopter coming in from the left and then hitting the plane as it came in for a landing. It then erupts into a fireball. Now, at the time, there were 60 passengers and 4 crew members on board the plane operated by American Airlines, a flight that was coming in from Wichita, Kansas. And representatives from the airline have been trying to work with family members to get them more information. We do know representatives from U.S. Figure Skating say that several members of the skating community were on board the flight, and some people with loved ones among the passengers were at the airport waiting for them to arrive.
I'm just praying that somebody's pulling her out of the river right now as we speak. That's all I can pray for. I'm just praying to God.
The Black Hawk helicopter, which is similar to the one seen in this video, was reportedly on a training mission out of nearby Fort Belvoir, and 3 members of the military were on board at the time of the crash. At a press conference early this morning, officials said that this is still a search and rescue operation in the Potomac River, but they did not have any information on survivors at this point. There are about 300 search and rescue personnel at the scene, and they're dealing with tough conditions.
The conditions out there are extremely rough for the responders. It's cold. They're dealing with relatively windy conditions. Wind is hard out on the river.
We are expecting to get updates from officials throughout the morning. In Washington, Angie Gonzalez, Spectrum News.
Thank you, Angie. In just a few minutes, we hope to speak with a pilot who's going to talk to us a little bit about the complexities of DCA, that airport, things like frequencies, adding context. But right now, we want to talk about closer to home here in Central Florida.
Yeah, and also a reminder that there's a press briefing that's set to happen in the D.C. area in about 20 minutes or so. We're going to bring that to you here, part of our Spectrum News coverage. Now, flights to and from Washington being canceled. Where? Orlando International Airport. Remember, a lot of folks are waking up, getting to their flights, not even knowing what's happened. Our Jacqueline Harold continues our live team coverage. And you've been talking to passengers all morning long, Jackie, still learning about what's happening, trying to figure out their next move for their flights, but also trying to process the fact that this has happened in D.C.
Yeah, that's exactly right, you Beth. And it's been pretty emotional kind of talking to passengers as they head to their flights, learning of this news. But overall, things are still pretty calm here at the airport, things flowing as normal. We know that there are a few flights that have been canceled, at least 2 that were headed from D.C. and supposed to arrive here at MCO. That's been canceled. And then at least 1 that was supposed to leave from MCO to D.C. that's been canceled. But like you mentioned, talking to passengers, I want to let you hear from Mark Calbrone. We spoke to him earlier just about his reservations headed to his flight this morning after learning of that crash. And even though he's headed to the West Coast, he says that he can't bring to mind any scenarios like this that have happened in recent years, just reiterating how rare and frankly unbelievable this news is.
None whatsoever. I'm a pilot as well, so it's really tough for me to grasp kind of what happened. I don't know all the details, but it's difficult to see.
Now, we are more recently, we've just started to see some impacts to Philadelphia flights. There are at least 2 that were supposed to leave from MCO to Philadelphia that have been delayed at this time. So that's something that we're still watching. But we also heard from MCO. They sent out a statement essentially saying that along with the entire aviation community, their deepest condolences go out to all of those involved. But they wanted to reiterate that they're going to do their best to maintain confidence in their policies and make sure that flying continues to be safe and even safer following this incident. But continue to stick with us here on Spectrum News as we cover this tragic crash and more details come out.